Hey guys, it's Maddie. So in this video, I might seem a little different than I normally am. I'm exhausted. It's been a really rough week. This has been my week of inconveniences, as what I'm calling it, because it has just been a rough time, a rough go, for being completely honest. But I wanted to film, and I wanted to film this video, and I've wanted to for a while. And this weekend's gonna be busy. Like, life just gets busy. And I was like, you know what? It is 9:42 on a Thursday night. Why not? So, I wanted to do an updated piercings and tattoo video. So I did one before and it actually got a lot of views. I think at that point I only had my ears pierced. I don't even think I had my belly button pierced. So I think I've gotten, since that video, I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure I'm right though, 3 new piercings and a tattoo. So I do have my ears done. Oh, quite a bit. I do have a first hole. I just took my earrings out. I know, how convenient. So yeah, I talked about all of these, where I got them done, how I got them done, how I would recommend that. And then today I'm going to talk about like the pain of all my new ones, like the healing process, how I clean them, how I keep up with them, all of that stuff. And then my tattoo as well. So let's get started. So the first thing that I want to preface this by saying is that I would never recommend at-home tattoos or piercings. On Amazon, they sell a piercing kit with like a ton of equipment for like $13. So yes, it's a lot cheaper than going and getting things pierced. And I'm going to give the prices of everything. But it's not really worth it because you could pierce it wrong, do it in the wrong spot, and there can be complications with healing. If you decide to take it out in the future, like, it can just be a mess. So I would suggest going to a professional piercer. And honestly, if they charge a little more, I mean, it's because they're good. Like, you don't want it to be like outlandish, but like, piercings are kind of more expensive, just like tattoos. Like, if someone's willing to do a tattoo for free, unless it's at a shop and they're having like some sort of special, I know tattoos will do certain things like that, but I wouldn't. Like your friend, no, would not recommend. So that's the first thing. It's worth it if you really want it. Save up money and just go get it done professionally. I've seen people that have like at-home tattoos or piercings they've done, or that have horror stories of these things, and I just would not recommend. So I'm gonna start with my belly button because I got it on my 18th birthday, and so I've had it for over a year. The healing on this, I think, is about a year. This one, I don't actually know. I'm not completely sure on all the healing times. It's different for everyone, so I'm going to talk about my experience so far. And I'll insert healing times on the screen. How about that? How about that? So my belly button I got done. I like to get my piercings in the winter, so that way they're healed by summer when I want to swim and I don't have to worry about it. You're pretty much okay after that like 6-week period normally. To go swimming in your own pool if you have a personal pool, but I still, like, there are so many germs in even our pool, like if you're sweaty or like gunk that gets in it from outside, that I would rather just have them good to go and not worry about infection. So I got my belly button pierced. It did not hurt. I actually didn't even know she had pierced it. I felt a little pinch and I was like, tell me when you're gonna do it. And my dad was like, Maddie, she already stuck the needle in. I'm not even kidding. So, they didn't clamp me. Some people have said the clamp's the worst part. I don't know why they didn't. But it wasn't bad at all. Healing wise though, so like I said, I've had it for a year now. I went home a couple weekends ago. Yes, the weekend before last. And I had forgotten to put one in. I was changing my jewelry. I really like to change my jewelry out. It's like decoration. I don't know. And I had taken it out. I was cleaning everything. And if you guys, I'm going to go over kind of how I clean everything once it's healed too at the end of the video. But I had forgotten to put one back in. And I came back and it was closed in the middle. So I had to kind of bring back through, which I wouldn't recommend, but it wasn't closed like a lot. It just needed stretching, but it was painful and uncomfortable. And then I've had to like clean it extra. Normally I clean my belly button ring like every few days. Now that it's healed, I don't really worry about it. It is kind of in a weird area. It's different skin than your ears for sure. Like, I feel like it's more prone to infection even as it's healed. So yeah, I've just been like, and obviously I just like irritated it. Infection wise, I have found that as it's healed, it has been more prone to infection, just with simple things, you know, like swimming and just stuff like that. It is a piercing. It can happen. And I've just found mine to be more prone to infections, like I said, in that area. I think it just depends, again, from person to person, but I would recommend before you touch it, always have clean hands. Before changing it, make sure the jewelry is clean, make sure the area is clean, especially when changing jewelry. That's like a must always. Also, a lot of people ask me if I catch it on things, and I have run into issues a few times, but it's never come close to ripping it out. Like, I was like, oh, and I noticed, like, a couple times at school, I would stand up and it would catch on like a desk where you can't scoot your chair out. Or I would set something there like a laundry basket, and I'm like, oh no, or moving in, I would like bump it. But it's never been painful. I've never tore it. I've never done anything like that. I've always been like, oh no. And it's like a pretty flexible area of skin, so even when I've caught it, it's like tugged and been fine. Something I do want to say about belly button piercings is that if you are a thicker girl in your stomach area, I'm thicker. I'll just show you guys in my overalls here. Oh my gosh. I do have a bit of a tummy. I mean, I don't know if you can see. Let's see. Like, my stomach is by no means flat. I'm like 5'2" and 135, 140 pounds. So I'm like a size 7 and 9 in pants. But mine sits straight. So if you're like bigger, not just like a thick girl, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to use like demeaning words. But they will tilt inward a little bit. So like they'll do this. Mine doesn't do that, like I said. I think it just depends. And also kind of depends on where they pierce it, but like my mom's tips in a little bit. Also like a confidence thing. I've talked to girls that are like, oh, I'm just not hot enough for that. Or like my stomach never shows. I don't really wear crop tops ever. It's more just for me. Like, I think it's cute. I like the way it looks. Like, I get in the shower and I'm like, girl, yes. Like, it's like a self-love thing in a way. And I do think it looks really cute in swimsuits. I do wear bikinis, like, yes. If you want to get it, just get it. Like, some people are like, well, I don't feel like it would show enough. It doesn't have to. So the next piercing I got was my nose. This one. So this has been my most painful piercing yet. It was bearable. I'm not saying like it was so awful, don't do it. It's worth it. It's bearable, but ow. With the nose one, a lot of people ask how it feels, and I'm sure you guys all did this as a kid or maybe even recently. When you hit yourself in the nose, like, and it like makes your eyes water and it hurts, like just that pain. That's kind of what it felt like, again, on a much smaller level, but to an extent. My eye watered. However, the one that's been the most sore has definitely been my tragus, which has been interesting to me, because it didn't really hurt. That's this little guy. But it was definitely sore for the longest, like my belly button ring, and it kind of annoyed me for a few days. This one wasn't bad, but I do want to say, I cleaned it regularly for the time I was supposed to, and then I was only cleaning it like every so often, and I would get like a little bump beside it, and it was like a little infection. So this one I still clean every day, just because your nose is dirty and you blow your nose and you touch your face, and like I put makeup on, so that is something. It is a little bit more high maintenance. Like my ears, I clean them every week or so. My ear piercings, they're all healed. The last one I got was 4 years ago, and then I clean them when I change them, and I change them every. That honestly just depends. Normally it's about every week, so I'll change them or I'll clean them. I guess I clean them about twice a week. So yeah. But that one I still continuously clean. There's probably a little bit of makeup on it right now, but I will put makeup on and then like wipe around it, just because, yeah. And then I got my septum. So this was one I've wanted for a while. It doesn't hang very far out of my nose. I guess it's just like my nose shape. But I really like it. It has little spikes. I feel like it's subtle. You can get longer ones and stuff. This was just the one they started me on. Oh no, am I twisted? I am. Also, I have a ranch stain on my shirt. How do adults? So, yeah, I really like it. The pain wasn't bad at all. Oh, and I do want to say on the nose ring as well, I wear ones that are shaped like an L. And even when I change it now, it still is like a little uncomfortable to get it in. Like ear piercings, like my belly button ring, like I just changed, like whatever. Yeah, I don't know why. It's something I've heard like a lot of people say, like it's just like a more sensitive piercing. I'll see if my septum is. So my septum I got pierced last Saturday. It's been great so far. I actually ended up going to my doctor for medication, and he like wanted to look in my nose, and I was like, don't. And he's like, well, I want to make sure it's not infected. And he goes, I wouldn't have done that because that's where we carry staff, and now you have 2. And I was like, thanks, dude. I wasn't really worried about that, honestly. But, yeah, I was originally going to get black with balls, but they're like, we don't have balls, so do you want the spikes? And I was like, sure, dude, whatevs. So if you look on me, it's really subtle. I do have a bigger nose. Like, it's definitely higher. You know, it just depends on your nose shape. And, like, some people, you can get hoops and different things. But I have to wait a month to change it. But normally, I double the time they tell me. Or I wait just a little longer. So I'll probably wait about 2 months or so before I change it. I just like to make sure that it's completely healed. And that it's not going to be uncomfortable or cause any issues. Because, like, with your earrings, you wait, like, the 6 weeks and then change it. And it's, like, probably should have waited a little longer. So this one didn't really hurt. He did it super quick. They used a hollow needle, like, removed and then put it in. I haven't really had any issues. Sometimes it gets a little off to one side. I have bumped my nose a few times. Like, I'll wipe up or blow my nose. And that, I'm like, just because it's new and I'm kind of yanking on my nose, not expecting it. But other than that, it's been fine. It's super easy to clean, actually. It does get some boogers on it. I mean, that's expected. But it's nothing too bad. Yeah, I did have a problem. I did lose a hoop, or a spike. And it is, to tighten this side, I have to turn it to the left, not to the right. So, this side doesn't come unscrewed. So, yeah. Here. So, this is my dad's handwriting. And it says lava you. So he normally writes a lot messier, but he wrote this for me and he wrote it in like caps. All uppercase, so it was a lot easier to read. So my dad says lava you instead of love you because of this Disney short, and I will link it below. It is the cutest thing. It's 2 volcanoes, and he just fell in love with it. He's been doing it since like Inside Out became a thing on like Netflix. I mean, I think I was in like 8th grade when this started. So, I really wanted, there's 2 other tattoos that I want. One's meaningful, one's just pretty. But this one, it took 1:45. No joke. They, like, put it on, and it was just, like, little lines, you know? So, I haven't had any issues with it. It's actually becoming flat. You know how they kind of scab over? And it's been fine. I did just wash my hands, guys. It's been a little itchy, but nothing too bad. See, I have the period, and then I have a mole right there. The most irritating thing has been, like, straps on it. So I had to kind of pull my bra strap down for a few days, and just wear, like, a shirt. And my backpack I haven't put on this arm, but I just really, really like it a lot. It's so meaningful. I have in my birthday vlog this video. It's also on my Instagram. In my birthday vlog, I show him, and then I have just that video on my Instagram and my Twitter. So it's so cute. Oh my gosh. I'm just so happy. Like, they blew it up a little bit. He wrote this for me on a card when I moved in. And I kept it. I kept all of them. And I was trying to figure out a way to get him to write Lava You where it was, like, legible so I could get it tattooed. And it was perfect. Yeah, so he didn't know I was getting this tattoo. He knew I was getting one. The other one I want, I think I'm going to keep a surprise. Simply, it's going to have a way deeper meaning that I'm going to have to, like, make a whole video explaining, I feel like. But I am going to be getting it on my ribs, but, like, a little lower. Some girls get them, like, right at their, like, bra line. I want mine pretty low. Gosh. So, pricing on these ones, my belly button, I believe, was $35. Also, I always get the more expensive jewelry because I'm bougie, so, like, with rhinestones and stuff. I believe my nose was $25. This one was $45. And then my tattoo was $60. So they have like a minimum, like just for them to uncap, it's 60, like to uncap a needle. So he let me do the minimum. So I want to talk to you guys too about like cleaning them, care. I kind of talked about how often I clean things and then like do the questions. So I, for the longest time, used rubbing alcohol to clean my ears, which is great if you ever get an infection in one of your piercings. It's great for that, but it's really, really harsh on them to use it as a daily thing. It's just not good for you. So I think it's okay to clean your piercings, definitely, like if they're gunky and gross. Like, so piercings get gunky, it happens, like the jewelry, so I think it's okay to use that and some Q-tips, but on your actual skin, no. So they had a salt spray you could buy, and it's actually really similar to wound wash. So this is sterile saline solution, and you can get this anywhere. It's like $4 for this bottle. It might not even be that expensive. It's super cheap. It cleans. I mean, obviously you use it in wounds. It sterilizes it, but it doesn't dry it out. So if like I took rubbing alcohol to this, it would dry it out. Like it'd probably like make the skin around it crack. Like, especially when you get more sensitive piercings that are off of your ears, you need to stay away from that rubbing alcohol. And if they do get infected, what I will do, like when my belly button ring got infected, is use some Neosporin. This isn't something I would recommend if you just got it pierced, because it is trying to heal and you don't want like extra gunk on it. But if it's already healed and you get an infection, I would recommend using like triple antibiotic ointment on it, just a little bit. You don't want to cake it. Piercings need to breathe. But like if you're having trouble getting your jewelry in, put a little bit of that on there and it should go in easier and it will help with any issues. So yes, this is what I use. There's several brands and you can spray it in any position. Even when it's upside down. I don't know, I just think that's kind of cool. It is a little bit messier to spray onto Q-tips, so sometimes I'll spray it into the cap because I have so many things to clean. So yeah, and I clean these two twice a day. Probably once my septum heals, I'll just clean them at night. But if I put makeup on, like I said, I wipe around. Not necessarily with this. If I do get makeup like all over it, then I will. But I don't even wear makeup every day, so it's like, just use your own discretion. And this honestly lasts me forever, and it's good until 2021, so like you're good. And then on my tattoo, I got the Walmart brand, but they recommend Aquaphor to moisturize it. And I've been putting this on just whenever it itches because it's dry. My roommate and I were told different things when it comes to tattoos. I'm a complete newbie. She has 2, so I wasn't told that I had to go out of my way to clean it, but that I shouldn't touch it with dirty hands and that I shouldn't keep it like covered all the time while it's healing, and to keep it kind of out of the sun, because sun can ruin your tattoos, which we'll deal with this summer, you know, whatevs. So I shower, and they told me about this one soap I could go buy, but I was like, I got a 2-inch tattoo, so I don't use my body soap. I've been using my Cetaphil face soap on it, just gently, to just get any germs off, because they did just poke a bunch of holes in my skin. I don't want it to get infected, but I feel like my septum's way more likely to get infected, you know what I mean? So then I'll just pop some of this on, and they told me to rub it in and wipe the excess off to where it's not shiny, where other people have been told like goop it on. So I just listen to my dude, rub it on. Like normally I just get a little bit and just rub it in really good and call that a day. So some things questions I get is, have I ever been worried about my belly button ring rejecting? No. I know that rejection of belly button piercings is an issue, but honestly, if you're using the right jewelry and you're taking care of it, and if it's pierced right, it's not something I worry about. I do use surgical steel in my facial and belly button ring piercings, but I don't use it in my ears. I just use whatever, like Walmart jewelry. Like I think for my ears it's fine, but for my body, surgical steel. You can find stuff on Amazon for super cheap, like packs of belly button rings and nose rings, super cheap. Septum rings are a little bit more expensive, but it's a little bit more intricate jewelry to make, so it makes sense. But yeah, I got like a huge pack of belly button rings and a huge pack of my little nose rings, and it wasn't bad. And I haven't had any issues, but that's where you could run into issues with the jewelry. Also, making sure that it's the right type of jewelry. So you don't want to put something that's not shaped correctly, like some weird other type of jewelry in there. And you want to make sure that it is the right gauge. Ask your piercer what they pierce with, because sometimes they use a little bit different. They're normally about the same size. Like me and my roommates, nose ring are one gauge off from each other. So, you know, it just depends. So just ask, make sure you get the right gauge, and you shouldn't have any issues. I haven't, and if it does start rejecting, you just take it out and let it heal. My piercers were like, I do get pierced at a tattoo shop, but they're like, if it does start rejecting, you know, they recommend we come in, and so they can maybe see why, and then like tell us from there. Like maybe you think it's rejecting, but it's just infected, or you know, one thing or another. So that's that. Another question that I get is, with my nose rings now, is am I worried I'll have to take them out at a job? So honestly, at my job, I will probably flip my septum up. I am going to be a social worker. I'll probably flip it up into my nose, but I really like it right now. And then my little nose ring on the side, like, isn't going to be that big of a deal. I mean, my mom works out of college and have it. They're becoming a lot more acceptable. And honestly, I don't know if my septum is something I'll have forever. I think my nose ring and like my belly button ring I would love to have forever. Obviously, my belly button ring's probably going to close when I get pregnant. But I'll honestly probably get my belly button ring redone because I love it so much. But my nose, I really like. And closing, like I said, my belly button ring will close. I think noses close okay. I don't know if my septum would ever close, but it's inside and it's a small hole, so whatevs. But those are things to consider. And like my tattoo, I can hide. Most people don't even know I got one unless they follow me on social media, because like you don't see it. And that's something I like. Like I can hide it very easily, but I can also show it off if I want to. So my septum, I can't flip in right now, and I can't really with this ring. But if you guys have been around septums, then you know what I'm talking about. Like it just flips in and I can pull it back out whenever I want. So we'll see. Maybe I'll keep it forever. I really like it. I think it's cute, and I think it's pretty subtle on me. It's not like bam, you know, like, yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do have any other questions, you can leave them down below, DM me, comment on my Instagram post, like whatever. I'm pretty good about interacting with like everyone. I need friends. So yeah, also I love to hear your opinions on like certain piercings. Not even necessarily that I have, like if there's one you really like and you want to get someday, or one that you like absolutely can't stand, please do not insult me or the way that I look. If you're like, I just really don't like septum piercings, that's fine. Like I'll respect that, but don't be like, you're ugly. Like that's not nice. So yeah, I'm gonna get ready for bed, but I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'm really excited to decorate my body. Like it's such a fun adventure. So bye guys.